Gilbert, it's time for the Compas Opening Drive. I sometimes get very... oh my God. I was like, whoa. Sometimes I get a little discouraged that I didn't play professional football. I saw Sebastian Joseph Day from the Chargers say he's going to try out his arm after seeing what Jalen Hurts got paid. 5 years, $255 million. He becomes the first quarterback from the 2020 draft class to get an extension. Gilbert, first off, who's next, Burrow or Herbert? And what do you think their contract extension will look like?
Yeah, but hopefully you come back to Jalen Hurts. I want to give you my thoughts on the Jalen Hurts contract. But,
what? Let's start off there. Give me your thoughts on the Jalen Hurts contract.
Yeah, one thing that I find annoying on Twitter or whatever social media is as soon as Jalen Hurts got his money, it was like, oh, he doesn't deserve it. Where does he rank on the quarterback rankings? I'm like, go back and read the Daniel Jones column I wrote. It's all about who's going to get paid next, and the money just keeps going up and up because once you find a quarterback who's decent, they're going to break the bank. Now, that's not to say that Jalen Hurts is a decent quarterback. He is a star quarterback, and he proved that to me in the Super Bowl. He outdueled Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure Dan Nagel will appreciate that nugget there. But yes, Jalen Hurts is more like he benefited from his surroundings. He has a great GM and a great coach, and he had a good OC and a great defense, and all that just meshed well together. But the reason why I'm not mad at this contract, this massive $255 million, I think it's like the fourth highest fully guaranteed, not fully guaranteed, but most guaranteed money in NFL history. And he's making $51 million per year, the most, more than Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray and Deshaun Watson, all these bad contracts, by the way, Russell Wilson. But the reason why I like it, the Eagles found somebody who works for them. They went to a Super Bowl. They almost beat the Chiefs. I see a good relationship here. It's a good marriage. I know they lost the OC and the DC, and it's gonna be a lot of moving parts. A lot of what the Chiefs went through with the Mahomes contract, like you lose Tyreek Hill or whatever, now be enemy, but you make it work. And I think they found their quarterback in Jalen Hurts, and it's a good scheme fit. And one thing, Fernando, that I love about Jalen Hurts, like you don't got to be an assassin in the pocket. Just have an accurate deep ball and let AJ Brown and Devontae Smith go to work. And also he has leadership. The people love him. Like I don't think Jason Kelce and Brandon Graham and Darius Slay and Fletcher Cox come back. Yeah, exactly. If they don't love Jalen Hurts, they know that guy's a leader, and he's more than good enough. He's an exceptional talent, and with a deep ball, and then combine the athleticism, he's just a nightmare for this great scheme. So to me, it's all about, okay, you got the right dance partner, or right whatever wife, whatever you want to call in the quarterback. It's a great contract, and it's going to get surpassed right away by Herbert and Burrow. But I don't know what you think, Fernando. I don't know if you want to get into the whole, does he belong in the top 5, top 10, whatever, but I think he's just right for the Eagles.
I'm not one to say if he belongs, because I mean, he's not in my top 5, but that's just the way the market is dictating and going, and that's the way he's going. I mean, look at the contract that Daniel Jones just got. I mean, does he deserve it? No, but I mean, it's just about what can he do, what is he going to do. He had a nice season. The only thing with Jalen Hurts, by the way, congratulations to Nicole Lynn, agent Nicole Lynch, did a fantastic job by her. That was pretty awesome to see her. She's an ass kicker, and she's definitely paving the way for future female agents. So I'm kudos to her 100%. But I'm interested to see what's going to happen now, like you said, with those two contracts. But I think Jalen Hurts has done a great job. Now it's going to be, can he fit whatever scheme that he's going to be in next? Shane Steichen is now gone. What's he going to look like next season? With the contract, I also want to see if there's an out maybe after 2 or 3 years. That's going to be interesting to see when all those numbers come out. But definitely, I mean, did he deserve it? Yeah, he took us, like, they went to the Super Bowl. They didn't lose the Super Bowl because of him. He played his ass off. He did a good job. So I definitely don't think it was because of him. So I do think he deserves the bag. The only thing is, like I said, is how's he going to do this season? What's it going to look like? But I mean, that doesn't matter. What matters is what he's done up to this point. Up to this point, he's been a good quarterback. He did exactly what you said. This year, he learned how to stay more in the pocket, not put his body on at risk. I know he had that injury towards the end of the year. He's going to learn from that, but he was more accurate. That's what happens when you get guys weapons. When you get, like, Lamar hasn't had any weapons, so that's why it's been kind of rough for him. Now, with this guy, you get him AJ Brown. You got Devontae Smith. You have Dallas Goedert. You got weapons around him. I really do think that he's just going to continue to grow, and I hope he continues to grow. But I agree with you. I think this is the way the market is headed, and the Eagles had no choice. But I mean, not no choice, but they shouldn't feel nervous about giving him the kind of they did.
I guess to kind of give you another counterpoint.
And real quick, if you see me winking, and I'm not winking at you guys, I'm not winking at Gilbert. My eye kind of is like twitchy and it kind of hurts, but I'm gonna power on.
It reminds me of an episode on Seinfeld where Kramer is like getting a wink from George. He's like, you want me to go sign that baseball? And he's like, yeah. Anyways, but you got to watch the episode. Huh?
Can you not wink? Oh, okay, you can. Well, you were like
doing. I don't wink, but I'm a blinker. I think I blink a lot. I think that's why when I take pictures, I'm always with my eyes closed. Like I'm like, you got to take 4 or 5 because 2 of them are gonna be like this.
I feel like Gilbert's one of those like, hurry up and take it. I'm good.
And that's where I become the awkward Chandler pose. I'm like, well, I don't know how to pose because I'm trying to keep the eyes up. Okay, now we're going into a different conversation. But real quick, Fernando, I started thinking like, yeah, people want to debate where Jalen Hurts fits in the top 5 or top 10 rankings, and
they're bored.
They're bored, and he's definitely the #1 quarterback in the NFC. Like, there's no question anymore. And it's a bad field after that, but I think he's definitely like 7. Like, I might even rank him ahead of Lamar Jackson because, again, Lamar Jackson won the MVP 3 years ago, and he can't stay healthy. So I'm starting to forget about Lamar. But the way I'm trying to view Jalen Hurts, like, he's starting to get in that Russell Wilson area where like he benefited from a really good surrounding, a good defense, a good coaching staff, and then he just got better as a pocket quarterback. And he still had the mobility, and he was such a, like, if you look at the numbers of the downfield accuracy, like Russell was one of the best at it. But maybe that's why he's kind of in his downfall, is because he's not athletic anymore. Maybe he doesn't have that other element, and that could be the reason why the Seahawks were like, hey, we know this guy's falling apart. And that's kind of the downside with Jalen Hurts. Like, he runs a lot, and that's what makes him good. So it might not last forever, but am I right there, Fernando, where he could be in that top 5, top 7 range where he could be a good pocket quarterback like a Russell Wilson was for a good time?
I think if he would have won the Super Bowl, he would have ascended himself into that conversation. I think a Super Bowl changes everything. Because, I mean, I'm going to be completely honest, and I do agree with Dan and Dago. Russell Wilson in that first Super Bowl where they won, the defense kind of took care of that Super Bowl by halftime. They were up 28-0. Marshawn Lynch and the offensive line, or in the defense, are kind of taking care of that. Now, when the game was on the line for him that next year, or when they had to face the Patriots and the 49, that's where, I mean, he played a hell of a game. He just made one bad mistake. And I mean, you can call it his mistake. You can call it Pete Carroll's mistake. You can call it whoever's mistake you want to call it. It was still a mistake, but Russell had ascended himself that much, and he had played such a good game that people
I'm just picturing like maybe Pete Carroll's like, I want you to throw it here. Like, he actually had a wink. It's like, oh, okay. Well, or maybe I want you to run it here to Marshawn. He's like, no, I
told people, see, I had a conspiracy theory. If Marshawn Lynch runs it into the end zone, he's the MVP. Can you imagine after the game, them trying, what happens with the MVP? He goes to Disneyland. He has the microphones in his face. Did you really want Marshawn Lynch being your MVP after the game? So I did. Oh, hell, I did too.
Let's run it, Russ.
I just wanted I just had a good conspiracy theory. I'm like, the NFL didn't want it. Nobody wanted him as the MVP. So they said, hey, let Russ be the MVP. He'll talk.
Let's go back to the original question if you want.
No, but I completely agree. I think he's gonna be fine. I think he's gonna continue to grow. But like I said, now not new system, but new voice now in your head. It's gonna be interesting to see how they move it along. But Sirianni's been pretty tactical when it comes to him and his progression and the way he's grown as a quarterback. So I completely agree.
He's also not offensive-minded head coach.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
He was helping build that scheme every single day. It's just he kind of like, you know what, Steichen, I'm kind of a lot of my play. You call the plays, but still designing and building every day. It's still Sirianni.
It was smart. It was smart by him. That's when I give credit to a head coach. When you say, you know what, I can't do it all. And that's why some head coaches fail, Gilbert, because they want to do everything. They want to grab. They want to put their spoon in every single. It's like, no, you have to run.
All right, this is the third week in a row you mentioned a spoon. So
it's
part of the Dane collection of Fernando.
I know. Well, no, you like, you want to be involved in everything. You can't be involved in everything. You kind of have to let go of the offensive mind. If you're offensive or defensive minded, you have to let go of that and be a head coach, a collective. Let your offensive coordinator handle the offense, let the defensive coordinator handle the defense, and then just be a collective head coach who oversees everything. And I think that's why I give Sirianni a lot of credit. But let's go back to
real quick. I just want to know: are you the guy that goes into like a 31 choices or flavors, whatever the hell it's called now?
Baskin Robbins,
or one of those? But like, and you like, hey, give me a spoon, give me another one. You can't decide, and you keep just trying everything. Are you that type of person?
No, you know what? No, not really. I think that's more Dan and Dan actually already knows what he going in. He ain't gonna diverge from the flavor. Though I did do it last week at Chipotle though. I was like, hey, can I try the chicken adobada? And they were like, for sure. And then I tried it, and I was like, can I get a little bit more? I want to get the sensation of it. And she's like, yeah, for sure. And then I tried it even more, and I was like, you know what? It's actually really good. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. That's what I want. And I was surprised because I usually don't like the new crap that they come out with, but I thought that was actually pretty good. But no, I don't try. I usually know what I like. I mean, or cookies and cream is usually my go-to when it comes to ice cream. That's my stuff. But
I'm gonna tell you how poor I was. I used to go into 21 Choices with my friends and try every single flavor with the spoon, and then like we thought we're stealing, so we were running out the door like we were stealing something. But it just reminded me of those days where I used to get every single spoon. And give me that one, and then by the end of it, you're like, you got a free ice cream, and then we ran away for some reason. But anyways,
there was a comedian that used to say we were so poor that we used to go to KFC and lick other people's fingers when it.
Okay, we didn't go that far. We were just taking free pink.
No, I know. Well, okay. What do you think the numbers are? See, when it comes to Herbert and Burrow, I think it's going to be 52. No, he's 51, right?
Yeah, he's 51. So
52 and then 53.
Yeah. Well, that's a tricky thing. Is like, okay, are they really that close? Like I keep telling your friend, like the order is like easy. It's Burrow, Herbert, and Hurts.
Yeah.
And the thing why you might be right here. Okay, I think the Burrow one's gonna be further, but I think that Herbert and Hurts 55? Might be a little closer, huh? 55 for Herbert?
No.
For
Burrow.
Well, let me start with Herbert because the talent, the pocket passing, like he's better for sure than Jalen Hurts, but he just hasn't won. So like, how do you assess that? And like I don't know, like I feel like it might play out longer. Like we know he's the better quarterback. Like he's gonna, like these guys who are the pocket assassins, they last longer. They play for 10, 12, 14 years. So I think it might be like 55 for Jalen. I mean, sorry, for Jalen Herbert. I don't know why I keep saying Jalen, not Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert might be in that 55 range.
55, wow.
But now I'm thinking Joe Burrow might be like 60 million or like 300. He might be the first quarterback to touch $300 million. And I think that, like, well, besides, like, in terms of the 4 or 5 year range, like, obviously the Patrick Mahomes was 10 years.
Mahomes will re-sign a new contract as soon as that happens with Joe Burrow.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, as soon as all the guys have been taken care of, Lamar, Burrow, Herbert, Hurts, that wave of stars, okay, you're done. Now you have to top that because you're better than them, and eventually it will. But I think Burrow might touch the $300 million range. I don't know. He's gonna, like, if he goes that far, it won't be fully guaranteed. But I think he will surpass. Joe Burrow will surpass Deshaun Watson's number for fully guaranteed, not fully guaranteed, but guaranteed money.
I don't think Lamar's going to touch anything close to what these guys are touching, to be completely honest.
That's the tricky part. Like, now he's going to be like, well, I got an MVP. I'm better than these guys. In his head,
yeah.
Like, I'd rather pay Jalen Hurts more than Lamar because he's younger and he hasn't been hurt. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see what they did, how they decide. Because the Ravens, I'm telling you, like, they're one bad move away from, I think, John Harbaugh being out of there, and then him being the hot commodity next offseason. But I really
can't wait to rewind or revisit these videos because you've been saying it early.
Well, because I think there's a lot of like tension now between the organization. I think there's a lot of noise. I don't think he wants Lamar back, to be completely honest. I think he kind of wants to restart. Remember, he had Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco went to the Super Bowl. They won a Super Bowl with the style of Joe Flacco, and I feel like that's kind of what he liked. Remember, he hesitated to put Lamar in, even in that playoff game against it. Or no. He didn't hesitate, but he hesitated putting in Lamar that first, like that season, and then but I mean, he was smart in not putting in Joe Flacco at the end of that game against the Chargers. But I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. But if you say 55 and 60, that's gonna be interesting. If Joe Burrow becomes the first $300 million quarterback, then wow. But I mean, Joe's already done a lot for that city. He's brought an indoor facility. They're building an indoor facility. I'm pretty sure if they weren't so cheap, I think a new stadium would also be on the horizon, because what do you want for your flashy quarterback? A new stadium. Look at the Chargers they have. I mean, and I know it's not theirs, but you still have that big old stadium. And Justin Herbert's a headliner. No matter what you want to say about the Rams, the Chargers, right now Justin Herbert is the headliner of that stadium. To be completely honest, but